आरके सिंह जी एक बार कंफर्म करेंगे स्क्रीन सही दिख रहा है आपको?
जी सर, जी सर।
ओके, थैंक यू। सो ये जो दिस presentation will be about mapping wetlands. So the first step in delineation process or implementation of wetland rules या कोई wetland management plan बनाते हैं, so we have to map wetlands and we have to show where are the boundaries. Uh, So we will start the day. So when we start mapping wetlands, it is not just creating, a line or a boundary. We have to communicate several information. And I think people who have a cartography background या जो DDS है, जो आर्किटेक्चर से हैं, वो इस चीज को ज्यादा अप्रिशिएट करेंगे। फर्स्ट इशू हमें ये बताना होता है कि हमारा वेटलैंड कहाँ पे है, सो वेयर इज द वेटलैंड। सेकंड इज व्हाट इज द हैबिटेट लाइक, उसमें कितना एरिया पानी के अंदर है, कितना वेजिटेशन के अंदर है। आसपास कोई और बाउंड्री, जैसे कोई रेगुलेटरी बाउंड्री है, जैसे कि किसी ने प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया बना रखा है या किसी और कानून के अंतर्गत वो बाउंड्री जो है वो प्रोटेक्टेड है, तो उस बाउंड्री को दिखाना होता है। ब्रोडर लैंडस्केप को दिखाना होता है कि वो कहाँ पे है, वेटलैंड कैसा है, किसी पार्क के बीच में है, नदी के आसपास है। सो व्हाट इज द लैंडस्केप लाइक, the hydrological connectivity, so how is the connectivity with other wetlands या किसी river के साथ, coast के साथ दिखाना होता है। And then we also show the demographic setting, so whether the wetland is located in a rural space, peri-urban space or urban space. So we have to communicate all of this through a map and in the process of mapping. Now, when we delineate the wetlands, we have to remember 3H. So we talked about hydrology, hydrophytes, and hydric soils. So hydrology में, so this is a photograph of a wetland just outside Delhi. This is in Noida, Dhanori wetland. Now, अगर मुझे इस wetland की boundary बनानी हो, तो मुझे ये careful रहना पड़ेगा क्योंकि बहुत सारा area इसके सारा surrounding जो है, this is agricultural land. So if I take a bigger boundary, people will complain that agricultural land is taken inside the wetland. If I take too small an area, then wetland area will be converted. So what are the rules? What the wetland rules give us some guidance. So in terms of inundation, now let us look at this area, which is shown in red. This is inundated for less than 15 days in a year. That area has to be excluded. Only those areas where inundation stays, जो डूब का क्षेत्र है जहां पानी आता है, वो 15 दिन से ज्यादा अगर वहां पे पानी आता है तो उस एरिया को वेटलैंड के अंदर लेंगे, अदरवाइज हम नहीं लेंगे। नाउ लेट अस लुक एट हाइड्रोफाइट्स, जो ये वाटर प्लांट्स हैं। अगर हम यहाँ पे देखें तो वो प्रिडोमिनेंट है। ये अगर हम इस एरिया में देखें तो अगर हम यहाँ पे एक मीटर बाय 1 मीटर का अगर एरिया हम डालें तो उसमें 100% जो है वो हाइड्रोफाइट्स है। लेकिन जहाँ पे मार्जिन में हम जाएंगे तो यहाँ देखेंगे कि ये वाले जो पौधे ये तो वेटलैंड में रह सकते हैं। ट्रीज कैनॉट स्टे इन वेटलैंड, सो इन दिस केस what we will do is we will exclude this because the dominance of hydrophytes or water loving plants is less than 50%. And the third criteria we use is soil saturation. So if you look at soil, if the groundwater is at a level less than 1 foot, it is to be taken inside a wetland. If it is lower than that, we exclude it from wetland delineation. So in this case, if you look at soil in this margin, it will have very high water table. Here, water table is very low. So using these three principles, we delineate the wetland boundary. Now, sometimes, we have to be careful when mapping a wetland. A good looking wetland map may not always be a good wetland map. So it has to capture the dry season as well as the wet season. And wetlands are not necessarily wet all the time. कई सारे wetlands ऐसे हैं जो 2 या 3 महीने उनमें पानी होता है और rest of the time it is not wet. So if we draw a map, we should be very clear where the boundary is. Otherwise, we might end up committing mistakes. एंड ऑब्वियसली देयर इज ऑलवेज अ चैलेंज कि वेटलैंड कहाँ खत्म होता है और टेरेस्ट्रियल एरिया कहाँ पे शुरू होता है. So with this in mind, we can use several technologies. Now, this is one wetland you will see in wet season जो right side में है. यहाँ पे आपको सारा landscape dotted मिलेगा wetland से. Water is everywhere. And in the dry season, water is limited to this space. So we have to be careful where we draw the boundary. So in this case, it is much better to take a boundary which is a bit larger but not the total monsoon boundary. So मैं अगर ये जो red area है ये inundated throughout the year अगर रहता है, so I will draw a boundary like this. So this is how we will capture the seasonality dimension in our maps. Now, when it is a human-made structure, so this is a tank from उदय सागर और ऐसे काफी सारे wetland हमारे पास हैं, एसआई के पास हैं. तो उसमें एक फीचर है कि जहां टैंक है तो आप उसमें देखेंगे कि एक फुल टैंक लेवल होता है, एक मैक्सिमम वाटर लेवल है जो फुल टैंक के बाद भी थोड़ा सा भरता है, और एक हाई फ्लड लेवल है. So you will get these three hydrological boundaries. What we recommend that the high flood level, if it is wet for less than 15 days, that should be taken out of wetland boundary. We just focus on maximum water level in which inundation stays for at least 15 days. So normally जो है जो full tank level और maximum water level almost correspond करते हैं. अगर वो correspond नहीं करते हैं, so then we should take the boundary from the maximum water level perspective. So this will apply to most of our human-made wetland systems. Now, similar role जब flooding होती है, then entire landscape is flooded. So area around river, everything is flooded. Now this is one image. ये left वाला जो image है ये dry season का है, और जो right वाला image है ये wet season का है. If you delineate the boundary based on wet season, the entire landscape will appear like a wetland. But if you carefully examine the two images, only this part remains wet throughout the year. Rest of it goes away after monsoon. So in this case, the delineation should be done only on the basis of this boundary where my cursor is moving. If we take the entire area, then we will block a lot of area under the wetlands, and our regulation complexities will increase. So we will have to distinguish between what is a flood and what is a wetland. So this is a flood map, but here flood usually recedes within 15 days. But in a wetland, water will be there throughout the year or for major parts of the year. So this is where we can use, these images of dry and wet season to understand how the seasonality changes. And I'll show you some examples from Delhi where such approaches can be useful. In rural areas, जहाँ पे surrounding is an agricultural land, we can use the boundary based on plants. So जहाँ hydrophytes है, even if you look this area, this is all marsh. जैसे हमारा भलसवा के पास का region है, वहाँ पे पानी नहीं खड़ा होता, लेकिन वहाँ पे wetland plants हैं. So the boundary will be marked by the plants rather than water. In this case, if we draw the boundary only on water, we will be losing out on a large part of the wetland. लेकिन कई बार ऐसा होता है कि the wetland के margins are converted into fish farms or some other structure. So in this case, here you will see that all these green area has been converted into red, which is fish farm. So again, the boundary will not change. The boundary will include all fish farms. It will include the vegetation. It will include the water. So herein also, our boundary will be made inclusive of all wetland areas, whether or not it has been converted. And thirdly, कई बार जो है जो soil types होता है, again दिल्ली में ये हमारे पास wetlands नहीं होते, so remote sensing images independently cannot tell you the hydric soil where soil is completely wet. So in this case, this is one example from Ernakulam city, Kochi में, where the wetland is it's a peatland जहाँ पे carbon sequester होता है और ये हाईली वेट है. तो यहाँ पे हमें ग्राउंड सर्वे से निकालना पड़ा था कि यहाँ पे वेटलैंड का जो है वो एरिया क्या है. यहाँ पे रिमोट सेंसिंग इमेजेस और गूगल अर्थ विल नॉट हेल्प यू. सो दिस इज सॉइल बेस्ड. लेकिन देर इज अदर एस्पेक्ट. So ये inundation or soil based mapping or vegetation based mapping is an ecological approach. Sometimes we also take functional approach. Now this is an example from Calcutta city. Calcutta city में कोई sewage treatment plant अभी कुछ साल पहले तक नहीं था. So what they used to do, all the waste was pulled up from the sewer using the pumps, and it was driven to a wetland. And when it passed through the wetland, it absorbs all the nutrients, wastewater, and it cleans up the water. So in this case, the wastewater treatment function is the basis of delineation. So if you see this canal, the Central Lake Canal, this is where the wastewater is brought into the wetland. It goes through the fish farms, which is the blue area, and then it is subsequently used into agricultural farms, and then it is taken out. So in this case, to treat wastewater, we need these wetlands, but we also need these dry lands. And thus, the wetland area is much larger than the water area. So these agricultural areas have also been included in the wetland area, because without the agricultural area, it is not possible to do wastewater treatment. And this map is completely on ecosystem function perspective and is approved by High Court of Calcutta. So कलकत्ता में आप कोई भी जमीन जो है यहाँ पे ये जो रेड एरिया के अंदर का वेटलैंड, आप इसको कन्वर्ट नहीं करा सकते, आपके ऊपर केस हो जाता है. So there are different approaches. So आप plant based approaches ले सकते हैं, water based approaches ले सकते हैं, soil based approaches ले सकते हैं, या ecosystem function based approaches ले सकते हैं. कई बार क्या होता है कि वेटलैंड इकट्ठा एक बॉडी की तरह नहीं होता, वो उसके चारों तरफ छोटे 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 वेटलैंड्स होते हैं. नाउ इन रियलिटी व्हाट हैपेंस, दिस इज वन कनेक्टेड सिस्टम. This is hypercharged groundwater which appears in small pockets all around the wetland. So in this case, it is desirable that rather than trying to isolate one wetland, second wetland, third wetland, fourth wetland, and there are 17, 18 wetlands, we can draw the entire area as a complex. It is hydrologically connected. इसमें जो है ग्राउंड वाटर कनेक्टिविटी काफी ज्यादा है. यहाँ पे सुपरचार्ज ग्राउंड वाटर है, तो हम ये जो बाउंड्री बना सकते हैं यहाँ पे, हम बाहर की बाउंड्री लेके हम इसको एज ए कॉम्प्लेक्स डेजिग्नेट करते हैं, जिसके अंदर फिर थोड़ा सा ड्राई एरिया भी आता है, लेकिन वो इकोलॉजिकली और हाइड्रोलॉजिकली कंटिन्यूअस होता है. नाउ मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स व्हेन यू लुक एट मैप्स, कई बार लोग कहते हैं कि हमारा वेटलैंड प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया बन गया और प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया की बाउंड्री ही जो है वेटलैंड की बाउंड्री है. दैट इज नॉट ट्रू. इन सेवरल केसेस व्हेन वी डेजिग्नेट प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया, इट इज डन ऑन टेरेस्ट्रियल प्रिंसिपल. सो इन दिस केस I'll show you again. The protected area boundary goes like this, but it includes a lot of terrestrial areas. So whenever somebody says that I have a map already, you have to check how much of it is in terrestrial area and how much it is actually a wetland. All protected areas, especially wetland protected areas, invariably have larger areas built under their boundaries. Now, the other concept that we use is zone of influence. After having drawn the boundary, we will have to specify a zone of influence. Now, typically, wetlands are hydrologically driven system. So, जितना जो भी पानी का सोर्स जहां से आता है, वो उसका zone of influence होता है. So, let us see in this case, this is one image from Bihar. So, you will see that this is the wetland, and the water comes from a large area. So we designate ये जो red area आप देख रहे हैं, ये पूरा area है जहां से पानी सारा wetland के अंदर आता है. So in this case, we can delineate the entire basin as a zone of influence. But the problem with this approach, it means a large area has to be regulated under wetland rules. So another simple approach is you define just the area which is draining directly into the wetland. So in this case, this is a small wetland in Kerala, urban wetland. इसमें जस्ट हम यहाँ इसके अराउंड जो है, ये एक सड़क जाती है, उस सड़क के चारों तरफ का एरिया जो है वो जोन ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस बना दिया है, और वो सारा पानी जो है वेटलैंड के अंदर आता है. सो वी कैन यूज any of these principles. If we are capable of managing a large area, we can use a basin approach. If we are not capable or if the area is very densely populated, it is wiser to include only those areas which drain into the wetland. Now let us see some examples of Delhi. Now Hauz Khas Lake, आप में से किसी के अंडर है ये लेक? Any one of you who's owner or is the nodal department for this lake? Is this under South Delhi Municipal Corporation? Okay. Now, in this case, if you look at the, okay. So, in this case, what you will see now, this is a human-made structure, very clear. You can see a road all around the wetland, and you can typically, in this case, it is very safe to assume that wetland area is comprising of all area which is under this periphery. Since this is a human-made system, the boundaries are defined by some kind of a structure. In this case, this road serves as an embankment to this wetland, and it is very safe to draw the boundary all around the wetland and say this is my wetland area. And let's take another example of Sanjay Lake, Mayur Bihar. Now, Sanjay Lake in this case, and I think Sanjay Lake is under East Delhi Municipal Corporation, ADMC. Now, in this case, you will see this is the possibly the Mayur Vihar area. Now, on one side, see all areas around this road, they are typically draining into the wetland. So the boundaries here are very clear. You can see, but where is the problem is on towards this end. In this end, what you will see, there is a lot of mixing of vegetation, which is aquatic in nature and terrestrial in nature. Herein, I'll recommend that we take the boundary based on monsoon. So in the monsoon, if there is aquatic vegetation in this area, we should take that boundary and determine the wetland boundary. Now, also in this case, when I have to determine the zone of influence, uh, it is we cannot take a lot of area under zone of influence given the fact that entire Mayur Vihar pocket B, pocket C are around this wetland, and quite a few complications, regulation complications may arise. But at least in this case, it is evident that all areas beyond this road, which is going, and I think this is a metro line. So all areas to the right of the metro line, and herein we can take the edge of the colony, all areas which are towards the edge of the colony and till this road will become the zone of influence. Then you can start planning your regulation. Now, similarly, I'll show you a case of this is a transboundary wetland between Delhi and Haryana, the Nazafgarh Jheel Bird Sanctuary. Now, in a dry season, in a pre-monsoon season, this wetland appears to be very small. So there is one pocket here, and there is one pocket here, and there is a lot of agricultural land. And typically, you may be tempted to draw the boundary, just assuming that these are two water bodies. But if we look at post-monsoon image, it is very clear that it is one system right from this point to the agricultural lands to this area and even this parts of area. These are all parts of wetland. So we have to examine both the pre-monsoon condition and post-monsoon condition and then decide what is the wetland boundary. So assuming uh, uh, that this is our this is a wetland that has to be delineated. So in this case, I will use the post-monsoon images and pre-monsoon images and examine what is the irrigation regime here. And finally, I'll show you. This used to be. I used to stay in विकासपुरी में मेरा घर था और मेरे पीछे एक वेटलैंड भलसवा है. जब आप चंडीगढ़ के लिए निकलते हो, जहाँ पे विंड स्टम्प भी है. ना आप देखिए किस तरीके से एक वेटलैंड मैप के नहीं होने से क्या नुकसान होता है. On the left is 2017 February का मैप है भलसवा लेक का. Now, ये एरिया जहाँ पे सड़क बनी है वहां पे वेटलैंड को कोई नुकसान नहीं है, कॉलोनीज हैं, सब कुछ है, यहाँ भी सड़क बनी प्रोटेक्टेड है। लेकिन आप जब आप ऊपर के हिस्से को देखते हैं, 2017 में ये बहुत बड़ा मार्च था। 2000 सिर्फ 3 साल के अंदर इतना बड़ा एरिया वेटलैंड का वहां पे कंस्ट्रक्शन हो गया। अगर हम इस वेटलैंड को प्रॉपरली डिलिनिएट करके नोटिफाई कर देते तो आज ये एरिया जो है हम इसको बचा पाते। You can typically see all this area on the top, which is a part of the wetland, which used to be a good marsh system, is now completely converted and constructed upon. And at the end of the day, as state wetland authority and as regulatory agencies, we are also partly responsible for allowing this change to happen. So it is very much important that we make meaningful maps and ensure that maps are registered with Delhi State Wetland Authority as quickly as possible so that we do not lose wetlands like this. आपको एक एग्जाम्पल दिखाता हूँ। एक अर्बन वेटलैंड है कश्मीर में। उन लोगों ने क्या किया है, उन लोगों ने ये कश्मीर से थोड़ा तकरीबन श्रीनगर से 20 किलोमीटर ऊपर है, ये काफी बड़ा वेटलैंड है जिसको होकरसर कहते हैं। तो इन्होंने सैटेलाइट के अलावा इन लोग, ये इनकी इंजीनियरिंग टीम है, इन्होंने बिल्कुल पॉइंट्स जो है वो डिटरमाइन किए। जो सारा एरिया आप जो ग्रीन में देख रहे हैं, ये जो सड़क है, इन्होंने इसके ऊपर पॉइंट्स डिटरमाइन किए कि मेरा वेटलैंड कहाँ है, और उसके ऊपर यहाँ पे बाउंड्री पिलर्स तक लगा दिए। सो इस तरह करके आप देखेंगे यहाँ पे डिपार्टमेंट का नाम है, बाउंड्री पिलर का नंबर है, दिस इज बाउंड्री पिलर 53, और इसका लैटिट्यूड लॉन्गिट्यूड भी दिया हुआ है। तो अगर कल को कोई कारस्तानी करके चाहेगा कि मैं ये बाउंड्री पिलर उठा करके कहीं और लगा दूं, तो आप ये रीडिंग पढ़ करके ये 34 डिग्री 6 मिनट्स 39.29 सेकेंड्स आप ये पढ़ करके वापस इस पिलर को अपनी जगह लगा सकते हैं। सो इससे क्या हुआ कि यहाँ पे अब इंक्रोचमेंट की जो समस्या है, कोई भी इसके अंदर अगर पाया जाता है, सो टिपिकली यू कैन फाइल अ केस and then there is a legal procedure of prosecuting an encroacher. So there are different approaches being adopted, and wetlands being a very high pressure ecosystem, we need to ensure that wetlands are properly delineated, and especially in urban areas, for certain wetlands like Palasava, you might also need to put in boundary pillars so that they are not further encroached upon. So, in conclusion, I'll say that maps need to strike a balance between ecological consistency and socio-political realities. So, कई बार जो है, in our over enthusiasm to protect nature, we try to bring in lot of area under regulation. But at the end of the day, we should also look at whether implementing regulation is practical in certain situations. And maps also have to be meaningful. ऐसा नहीं कि हम कोई ऐसा एरिया कर लें जो सिर्फ पार्ट ऑफ वेटलैंड हो। जैसे आपको मैंने जहांगीर के केस में दिखाया कि अगर हम सिर्फ आधे वेटलैंड का नक्शा बना करके दे दें तो उस वेटलैंड का मैनेजमेंट पॉसिबल नहीं। सो दिस वाज ऑल फॉर द डे। एसेंशियली आपके पास जो वेटलैंड मैप सही होना, दैट इज द बिगिनिंग पॉइंट ऑफ एनी मैनेजमेंट। इफ यू डू नॉट हैव ए गुड clear map which shows where is the boundary and which shows where is the what is the type of wetland, where does the water come from, where does the water go, अगर इतनी चीजें आपके पास नहीं है तो मैनेजमेंट करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है। एंड देयरबाय इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट कि जब आप अपनी ब्रीफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स बनाएं तो थोड़ा समय एक अच्छा वेटलैंड मैप प्रोड्यूस करने में जरूर लगाएं। एंड सिंस वी आर ऑल इन दिल्ली, प्लीज मेक इट अ पॉइंट टू गो टू योर साइट and see whether those boundaries are actually on ground or not. क्योंकि सैटेलाइट जितना भी हो, इट इज जस्ट अ फोटोग्राफ, एंड फोटोग्राफ्स में एरर्स होती हैं। तो उन एरर्स को ग्राउंड पे वेरीफाई करके रेक्टिफाई करना बहुत जरूरी है। सैटेलाइट और जीआईएस या जो गूगल अर्थ है, इट विल मेक आवर लाइफ इजी, बट दे कैन नॉट डू अवे विद द नीड ऑफ ग्राउंड वेरिफिकेशन। So that was all in today's session. I'm stopping the screen, or I can open the chat box. Do let me know if there is any. Uh, okay, Sonalji, thank you. So you have been saying, so Sonalji, you have saying Hoskas is in the DDA jurisdiction. Sanjay Lake is also majorly under DDA jurisdiction. Okay. Thank you for this information. So, are there any questions जो आपने पूछना है? Any clarification that you would like to see? Either you can use the chat box or you can speak now. Unmute करके आप बोल सकते हैं. Any question, any clarification that you may have? Mr. Saha, are you around? Saha जी, आपको आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
क्या वो सच्ची गाड़ी
Okay. So in case there are no questions, we will close today's session. Please let the brief documents be prepared and sent to Wetlands Authority. Okay. And I have another comment here from Solan. I read in one of your articles in there is proposal for metro viaduct passing through the middle of the wetland. So what stand State Wetland Authority has taken against the proposed metro alignment? So यहाँ पे दो situations थी. One is कि जो state government सोलन जी state government was saying कि अगर आप हमें मेट्रो एक वायडक्ट नहीं बनाने देंगे तो पूरे शहर में ट्रैफिक जैम्स होते हैं. तो उसका हम क्या करेंगे. लेकिन हम लोगों ने ये स्टैंड लिया था कि जो वेटलैंड रूल्स हैं, वेटलैंड रूल्स डू नॉट परमिट एनी परमानेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन. So the ministry then it was referred to the National Wetland Committee. The National Wetland Committee asked them to go through an EIA process. So उनको एक environment impact assessment कराना पड़ा था. और environment impact assessment के बाद although they said that there was no environmental implication for the wetland, the structure of the pillars would be, such that will not include the wetland area. It will pass through agricultural areas. But ultimately, government decided to not to pursue the project further. So that's why अब वो जो project है, जो हाईवे बनना था, बाईपास बनना था, अब वो प्रोजेक्ट नहीं बन रहा है. So that is the situation. So anybody from Delhi State Wetland Authority, Dr. Jayachandran, if you're around, I can see that you're logged in through your mobile phone. I'm aware that you are at the So in case there are no further questions, इस वेबिनार को अब यहीं पे क्लोज करते हैं. ये रिकॉर्डिंग और प्रेजेंटेशन जो है आपके व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे मेक दिस अवेलेबल. राजेश रोशन जी, आप सुन सकते हैं मुझे?
यस सर.
अच्छा, सुनील शाह जी हैं क्या अभी अराउंड? उनको शायद मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही. So what will be the next webinar topic? So what do you want as a topic? So हमें जो technical topics से largely we had covered. So if you could let us know what other topics that you want us to cover, we will prepare accordingly. So we have discussed about the maps, we have discussed about the management plans, we have discussed about brief documents, we have discussed about health cards, we have also discussed about wetland rules implementation. So now you let us know the remaining two webinars will be on the basis of your demands. So whatever topic you would like to discuss, we can pick that up, prepare accordingly. So Sonalji, if you have something in mind, okay. So let us know, even in the Delhi Wetlands group, WhatsApp group, let us know and we will pick up a topic. आरके सिंह जी, क्या अगले वेबिनार में कौन सा टॉपिक लिया जाए?
सर अभी
सर एक्शन प्लान पे दोबारा हो सकता है सर।
एक्शन प्लान पे दोबारा हो सकता है, ठीक है. सो if you please, if any department is facing any difficulty regarding preparation of brief documents, ठीक है. सो अगला सेशन ऐसा करेंगे कि सिंह साहब ने कहा है कि मैनेजमेंट एक्शन प्लान पे दोबारा बात की जाए, तो उस पे हम उसको रिव्यू करेंगे एंड एक क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर सेशन होगा. सो 15 मिनट के लिए मैनेजमेंट प्लान पे डिस्कशन करेंगे और फिर वो जो पूरा समय है आपके लिए ओपन समय रखते हैं, जहाँ कोई भी क्वेश्चन आंसर करना हो, किसी भी डॉक्यूमेंट को डिस्कस करना हो. सो उस दिन अगले वेबिनार का पूरा समय हम क्वेश्चन आंसर करते हैं. सो थैंक यू फॉर दिस सजेशन सोनल जी. वी विल कीप दिस. So we will be now closing the webinar. The presentation and the recording of this session will be available to you for everyone to use. Thank you so much for your time, and until our next webinar, we'll meet again. Bye-bye. Lakshmi Narayan ji,